If I'm given the chance to actually go back to my golden ages, when I was 17 and 16 years old, at that time, I'm in Form 4 and Form 5 in my high school, or specifically in a boarding school. It's an SBP in Science Sumbrum. I've had the best moment of my life. I got the chance to actually meet a lot of people in my batch and also my junior batches. And I've joined a lot of events to actually get to know what is the real meaning of having experience in a lot of ways, and especially when it comes to soft skills and socialization. But alas, I'm 20 now. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Adam Zikri bin Razli. And if I were given the chance to tell my younger self, what do I want to tell him, Adam Zikri, in a younger version? Please, there's only one thing that I want to give you as an advice. It is that for you to not be regretful too much about the things that has been passed away in the past times. It's okay. We're humans. I completely get it. Trying to be regretful or even am regretful for the things that we've done as a mistake in the past, it's a normal human thing. But let's not avoid the fact that these mistakes that you've done has led to me be me. I can talk in English in front of people, in the public, with no problems at all. Of course, there are a few things that I'm regretful of, but is there any kind of way that I can actually turn back time? No. So it is only best for me to actually learn from the mistakes. So if you're here physically, I just want to tell you that try to learn from the past mistakes that you've done. Never be too regretful because they will lead you to nowhere. That's the thing. The bigger I grow, the more I realize that you're more matured if you accept what has happened in the past, because you can be a better version of yourself in the future. So with that, conclusively, learn from your mistakes to become the better version of yourself. That's all.
So I just celebrated my 20th birthday last week and it was really nice. I celebrated it with my family, my friends, but it felt so surreal because firstly, Alina Jiha turned 20, and secondly was that my secondary school friends were at my birthday celebration. And this is surprising because I haven't spoken to them in years. So to see them, to catch up with them, was really nice. We all started reminiscing about our high school years, and I've come to the conclusion that my high school years, were by far the best and worst memories of my life. And I desperately wished for a time machine or something so that I can go back in time and change a few things, but that's practically impossible. So I just settled on writing a few pieces of advice that I would have given to my younger self about high school or secondary school. So firstly, I would tell my younger self to do not take up STEM subjects. So back in secondary school, I took up pure science and was a mistake because I didn't like science. But the thing here is I took it up because I wanted to be with my friends. And sure, I was pretty good at math, but I didn't like physics, chemistry, or biology. And it was reflected in my grades because I got all A's for everything except for those 3 subjects. So if there's anything that I would change, it would be that. To not take up STEM-based subjects. Secondly is I would tell myself to please join the Malay debate team. So back in secondary school, I was offered to join the Malay debate team, but I rejected it because I didn't think I was good enough and I was waiting for the English debate team. But ultimately, there was no English debate team, and that is something that I genuinely regret till this day, because had I joined, then I could have improved my Malay and I could have had some experience in debating. And now lastly is I would tell my past self to go and confess to her crush. So me and my ex, we started dating after SBM, but as it turns out, we had a crush on each other ever since we were 15. So if there's one thing I genuinely regret was to not tell my ex about my feelings earlier on, because then it would have saved me a lot more time, and who knows, the relationship could have ended a bit differently. So all in all, these are the few things I would have told my younger self if it was possible. But in all honesty, even if I did have that chance, I wouldn't have done it, because then I wouldn't be the same person I am today, and all that growth I've been doing for these past few years have been for nothing. So thank you.
Hi. And yes, it's actually a surprise to meet you, my younger self. There's a few things that I want to tell you about that I find is important for you and I. I just want to say that don't stop chasing your dream and don't belittle yourself. There's never a moment where a stranger judgment of you will affect your life. They don't fit your mouth. Just take what is good and throw what is bad. And lastly, I want to say that just opportunity. There's many opportunity in life right now, and especially for you. And to conclude it all, I just want to say that just as wheel go around, so do life. Even in your bad moment, there will always come a good one. Just be patient and keep smiling.
Life can be harsh, but the future can be scary. What I really want is just a time machine that can bring me back to 15 years ago, where I can have a talk with a young boy whose name is Haikal, who thinks that he wished that a life is very simple. He wished that he could just disappear, like he doesn't exist. He wished that life could be something that he can dream of every single day. He simply wished that here's a life where you're no longer about juggling between being alone and being fake, but just being himself. I just want to have a conversation with him. A couple of things that I want to talk about with him. Firstly, I wish to tell him that it is better for you to love yourself over other people. And it is important that he needs to know not everyone can actually make you happy, and not everyone can be happy from you. It just doesn't matter who exactly you're trying to make them happy. If they don't really care about you, they will never actually care about you. If they feel like it's very hard for them to be around you, they will never be comfortable around you. Why bother thinking about them when the most important thing about yourself is the only thing that is being harmed right now? When your feelings no longer being cared for, when you feel like you are nobody within those social group, who cares about them? You care about yourself. Cut those people off. It just makes your life much better. Love yourself before other people. Secondly, let's not regret things and try to learn from it. Because every single incident that happened is something that we can learn from. It makes us become a new person. Even if it's true that you did a big mistake, maybe you make that funny jokes that nobody laughed, or maybe you try to actually to be cool but nobody actually cares about you. Maybe you just simply make a huge mistake or embarrassment where you accidentally open a mic in a debate tournament and people will listen to your voice while like they are screeching. Who cares? The point is, it happens and we just have to continue to live our life. Maybe it's a bad thing, we'll regret it later, or just don't regret it at all. It already happened in the past, we'll just learn from it. Finally, sometimes it's just okay to be not to do anything, or it's okay to stop. Maybe you feel like debating is tiring. Maybe you feel like going to a law school is tiring. Maybe you feel like anything that you are doing is tiring. It's okay to stop. Maybe you're stopping because you feel like it will be easier for you to continue a better life. Or maybe you feel like it's okay to take a break right now so that I can become better. The point is, you will become better. I would just want to conclude what I want to tell you, younger Haikal, is that I don't know whether I've become the person that you want, but I've become the best person that I actually want. And I think that is the most important thing. It's about how exactly we feel about ourselves, and I wish that you understand. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here for you.
Regrets. If you can change something from your past, will you do it? Regrets may come for something you did or said in the past, but it also may come for something you didn't do. Any time the outcome wasn't what you desired, it may cause lingering sadness. If you ask me, I won't say I regret my past because they made who I am today. But if I can meet my younger self, I will tell her three things. Thank you, don't worry, and be proud. First of all, if you ask my friend, I was someone who never afraid to speak my mind. I was firm with what I stood for. However, I take things to heart more than I should. It caused me overthinking and led to low self-esteem. So if I can meet my younger self, I will tell her, thank you. Thank you for staying as yourself because it made me stronger than who I was before. Secondly, we all experiencing changes. I entered a boarding school. New school, new environment, new people. I can adapt to new school and environment very quickly. But I have problem with people because I seem to never fit in. So I change myself to blend. And I trap the real me in myself. So to my younger self, I will tell her, don't worry to be alone because being alone doesn't make you lonely. As long as you don't betray yourself, you can go through it. Lastly, I was a little different than others. I was fine in not doing what others do, but others don't share my sentiment. I know they may not have bad intention. They probably just curious or surprised. But if when people focus too much on what you do, you can't help but look at what you are doing. It made me feel weak and self-conscious of myself that I have to try to change myself. So to my younger self, be proud of you and don't be sorry of being you. Some of you may wonder why I would say these three simple things to myself. It's because why is it so easy to say these three things to others but so hard to say it to ourselves? We can be kind to others to comfort them, but we cannot say this to ourselves to comfort us. So, to my audience, I hope you will learn to appreciate you more and see how worthy you are to be here. Till we meet again.
So, what if it is a time machine right in this moment that I can use to get in the past, to make my younger self to give an advice? No. My younger self will just forget it in a sleep. So, I will just write a letter from your mysterious future planner, please. So, what will I write in the letter? First, I will write, don't just do it purely by motivation. Just do it like part of yourself. So what I do mean by that? In the past, like when I'm 14, 15 years old, I have really wanted to be a scientist myself, an astronomy scientist. So I'm really committed to my studies. Like every single day, I will give an hour to do my math. No, not an hour, like 2 hours. So I really excel at it. So in my PTD result, I'm really surprised by my result. Okay. So eventually, I get into Form 4. My motivation has gone poof. I don't know where it's been. So what I do during that time, I just screaming. I do gaming. I just hang out with friends after school. I didn't study properly at all. I didn't focus at class at all. So they didn't do any surprise, but that year my result is really bad. So eventually I got into Form 5. I need to take SPM. So can you imagine? Almost all of my classes in Form 4, I didn't focus at all. So in my Form 5, I studied a little bit, but so my SPM result didn't go so bad, but didn't go so good. Miraculously, I got into matriculation. In matriculation, I realized that if don't just rely too much on motivation, just do it by yourself. I met a friend to give me an advice. It says that we just need to do 3 seconds rule. So in the 3 seconds rule, it meant by that you just need to do what you're meant to do in that 3 seconds. So let's say example like you have an homework to do, but you are a student, you are lazy. So you tend to procrastinate, but you tell yourself in 3 seconds you need to grab pen and do the exercise. Eventually, the rest of the exercise will come like the flow of the river. So that's what I told myself about my younger self. That's it. Don't rely too much on motivation and do the 3 seconds rule. That's it from me. Thank you.
A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, my name is Umi Nazira binti Zafari alias Equine. My student ID is 2021467752. Try to guess what topic I will talk today. Hint: emotional. 1, 2, 3. Here. The topic is, what will I tell to my younger self? If time can repeat itself, if there is a second chance, if I have a time capsule, if it is possible to change the situation again, I will tell to my younger self. First, listen carefully. One day, you will be friend with someone who is toxic. Go away from them. It's okay not to have many friends. It's okay to be left out. Anyway, not everyone gonna stay, right? Second, stop overthinking. Stop overthinking. Don't create problems that do not even exist. Also, stop worrying about what people talk and think in you. Think, but don't overthink. You have whole life ahead of you. Remember, they talk behind your back because they're where they belong behind you. Last but not least, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to fight for your own good. Don't be afraid to get up. Don't punish yourself for somebody else's mistake. You are not the opinion of people who don't know you. Get up. I hope you can realize, wake up and get up from the shackles of life. That's all from me, Umi Nazira. Thank you.